Hello everyone, hope you're having a good day today. Right now, I want to go ahead and show you, basically, you can easily hack the Baofeng with just one program and, of course, one cable. Now, this is the programming cable that comes with a lot of Baofengs. It's just a simple USB to the K plug. So basically, what we will be doing is we will be making this a tri-band handheld transceiver. So on a lot of the newer Baofengs, it seems that they have the capabilities of being a 220 megahertz transceiver. I don't know if it is because they are reusing hardware and they didn't want to make like a lower cost radio. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they cut costs with the rest of the board, and like the main motherboard is the same through several different models, but this can do tri-band. I've been able to send and receive on 220 megahertz, which is 1.25 meter band. I've been able to do it on 2/3 of the Baofengs I've interacted with. Some, the older ones, seem to not do it, and it also could depend on like where you get it from. I'm sure not every Baofeng is the same. I got this. Let's see. I got this around October of 2023. Yeah, it's that new. So this might not work on yours, but I have tried some from the past, I would say 3 years, the time they were bought. So definitely not out of the question. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate that this will work on 1.25 meter band. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put in a random frequency. Let's say 223,000. Okay, it's locked in. As you can see, I'll move it a little closer. It is locked in. And I'll go ahead and attempt to TX. Radio check, radio check. Okay, it seems to have transmitted successfully. I have validated this with a directional watt meter that works on VHF UHF, and it seems to do just as well, if not better, on 125 meter than it does like UHF VHF. So the ranking, I would say, based on the watt meter, so VHF, it ended up being about 5 watts. We're going right to the antenna. Of course not this antenna. This antenna sucks. So 5 watts for 5 to 6 watts for VHF. 1.25 meter seems to be around, I would say, 4.5 to 5 watts going into the antenna, and then UHF was a surprisingly 4 watts. I was only getting around 4 watts directional. Yeah, go ahead and try this out yourself. I'll show you how in just 1 minute. But first, I will say I have heard voice over this specific Baofeng on 1.25 meters. I have myself heard and transmitted. Granted, it was at a distance of about 100 meters, but I have picked up a repeater, so I do not doubt the capabilities of this thing. It might not be perfect, but I'm assuming if it can work at all, that means it was built for it originally and not advertised and not set up properly. I don't know why they wouldn't do that, because if I were them, I would just up the price by like $10 and say it's a tri-band, and it would sell like crazy. But what do I know? Anyways, so now we will go ahead and do the setup process. So right here I have my USB hub, not totally necessary, but So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the USB to K plug connector, and then I'm going to turn, this is very important, I'm going to turn it to memory mode with this button. So okay, it's now in memory mode. That's very important. You need it to be memory mode, and you need both channels to not be active. So I'm going to move away from any active frequency. Right there is receiving something. So it has to be in channel mode. I don't believe A or B matters. I just stick it to A just because. But it has to be in memory mode. So you want to turn this off. First, we will want to go and look at the software that we're using. And for this, we will be using Chirp. Chirp is very nice. Sometimes it's finicky with the Baofengs, but we'll go over with the entire process just really quick. So you want to go over it on the top right or top left and go and hit radio, and then download from radio. You're going to want to select your COM port in a second, and then you're going to go down to Baofeng, and then the UV-5R is what we're programming right now. It'll say like oh, this is experimental, this might break your radio. I haven't encountered that problem. Be careful. There's always a risk. But anyway, so we have this set up. We want to so we'll want to have our K plug plugged in. Let me go ahead and do a double check to make sure. Yep, I heard the Windows sound. So this COM port is the COM port for the K plug. It should already be set as a COM. If it's not, there may be an issue with the cable, or it may be the wrong cable. It will be the programming cable. It will not be the audio pass through and receive cable. So we're going to go ahead and press OK, and then we're going to follow the directions. So once again, turn the radio off. Make sure it's in memory mode. You're gonna want to take the plug it in, of course. So you gotta get it the right way. It'll be directed like this, pretty much, I believe. So you want to turn the radio on and turn the volume up to 100%. So turn this until it stops turning, and then make sure it's on. Once again, it's on the channel with no activity. And then we should be able to go back into Chirp and click OK. Okay, it didn't work first. No response from radio. Okay, interesting. Okay, I've relaunched Chirp. Sometimes that happens. What you'll want to do is you'll just want to unplug the radio and then turn it off. Plug back the radio in. Turn it up all the way. Make sure that connector's nice and firm. And then once again, press OK. Oh! Radio refused to send second block. Interesting. So I'm actually going to move to the other computer. Okay, so I believe there was a error with my drivers. You may need to install newest drivers, something like that. There's also, I've never used Chirp on that computer I just switched from. So now I'll try it on a new computer. Okay, so there we go. It is reading right from it. You'll see the TX light turn on at what you read. So just go ahead and give that a second for it to read. Alright, and then it'll be green when it's done. So then we will pull up Chirp. Okay, so here we have Chirp. This is all of the memory locations for all of your, let's say, repeaters, simplex frequencies, pretty much anything you want to write down, you write down here. This is not what we want to look at. Right now we want to go in settings, and within settings you can do a bunch of different things. Turn off beep. You can pretty much do everything you can do in the menu besides what's in the other settings, which is the frequency limiter. By the way, these power messages, I don't believe they come up anywhere. There's no place in the firmware for them to really appear. Don't know why they're here. So what we will be wanting to edit is the VHF upper limit. So basically what this is the software limit of what you can really type in to your radio to set tuned frequency. So we want to set it to the top of the band, which is 225 megahertz. Yep, that was right. So just want to set it to 225. You can set it further, but I don't trust that it will TX on it. I've TX'd on 225. It seems to work fine. This is the only thing you should really edit. I've tried going lower than 136, and I've tried going above what this was originally set to. I'm not sure if this was originally set to 520. Do not go above what is set, because it will not work. Even 1 degree off, it will just not work, and your Baofeng will basically crash. It will be stuck in TX mode, and you won't be able. You have to turn it off completely, and this is definitely not good for the radio long term, because you don't want to just like spew 5 watts throughout your radio and it not reach your antenna. That's definitely not good. I don't know if it's exactly 5 watts or if it even emits anything, but it certainly is not good. I will say in the advanced settings there is this range override parameter. If you have any issues with it just like not changing anything, I've heard a lot of people online change this to some string. I don't remember exactly, but they change it and it should like force the firmware supposedly. I don't know. I've only seen 2 people really need to use it, so you should be fine. So I just double checked, and yes, the upper limit for UHF was set to 520 by default, and also just so you are aware, the upper limit, just so you remember, is set to 174 originally, but once again it works on 225. So with that, we will want to go ahead and hit upload to radio. You should see a green light flashing on your Baofeng. I'm not actually going to upload this. I don't even have it connected to this computer, but it should be pretty much the same thing. I will also note, do not, once you have downloaded the image from the radio using the download from radio function, just do not touch your Baofeng. Just don't touch it, because if you touch it slightly, sometimes it just won't upload, and then you have to restart all over. So definitely annoying. Definitely save your image before you upload it to the Baofeng. That way you can just, 1, have a backup and reflash any other Baofengs you get, and 2, if the uploading process fails, you can just try again. When you need to try again, you download from radio, go to your old image that you made, and then hit upload to radio. And try your best not to touch fiddle with your Baofeng while you change the settings. So that's pretty much it. That's how to hack your Baofeng. How fun on the 220 nets, I guess. Surely there are some in your areas. 220 is not dead, although there are very few people on it. I do encourage, if this is one of your first looks into ham radio, that you consider getting licensed and really put yourself out there. It's a very neat experience. You definitely learn a lot and meet amazing people. So yeah, that's about it. I wish I recorded the tests on the directional watt meter, and I got a little bit more recordings of me getting contact with it, but believe me, it works. It just has to be the right Baofeng. Anyways, thank you for watching, and 7-3.